ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर्गोविंद सर्वकारण कारणम सहस्रपत्रकमलं गोकुलाख्यं महत्पदं तत्कर्णिकारं तद्धाम तदनन्तांशसंभवम् कर्णिकारं महद्यन्त्रं शतकोणं वज्रकीलाकं षदङ्गशतपदीस्थानं प्रकृत्या पुरुषेण च प्रेमानन्दमहानन्दरसेनावस्थितं हि यत् ज्योतिरूपेण मनुना कामबीजेन संगतं तत्किञ्जल्कं तदंशानां तत्पत्राणि श्रियामपि चतुरस्रं तत्परितः श्वेतद्विपाख्यम् अद्भुतं चतुरस्रं चतुर्मूर्तेश्चतुर्धाम चतुष्कृतं चतुर्भिः पुरुषार्थैश्च चतुर्भिरेतुभिर्व्रतां शूलेर्दशभैरानन्दम् ऊर्ध्वाधो दिग्विदिक्षभिः अष्टभिर्निधिभिर्जुष्टम् अष्टभिः सिद्धिभिस्तथा मनुरूपैश्च दशभिर्दिक्पालैः परितोवृतं श्यामैर्गौरैश्च रक्तैश्च शुक्लैश्च पर्षादर्शभिः शोभितं शक्तिभिस्ताभिरद्भुताभिः समन्ततः एवं ज्योतिर्मयो देवः सदानन्दपरात्परः आत्मा रामस्य तस्याति प्रकृत्या न समागमः मायया रममनस्य न वियोगस्तया सह आत्मना रमया रेमे त्यक्तकालं शिशिक्षया नियति सा रमा देवी तत्प्रिया तद्वशं तदा तल्लिङ्गं भगवान् शम्भुर्ज्योतिपुरूपः सनातनः या योनि सा पराशक्ति कामबीजं महद्धरे लिङ्गयोन्यात्मिका जाता इमा महेश्वरी प्रजा शक्तिमान् पुरुषः सोऽयं लिङ्गरूपी महेश्वर तस्मिन्नाविरभूलुङ्गे महाविष्णुर्जगत्पति सहस्रशीर्षा पुरुषः सहस्राक्ष सहस्रपाद सहस्रबाहुर्विश्वात्मा सहस्रांश सहस्रसु नारायणं स भगवान् आपस्तस्मात् सनातनात् आविराशितकराकर्णो निधिसङ्कर्षणात्मकः योगनिद्रां गतस्तस्मिन् सहस्रांश स्वयं महान् तद्रोमबिलजालेषु बीजं सङ्कर्षणस्य च हैमानन्दानि जातानि महाभूतावृतानि तु प्रात्यन्दम् एवम् एकांशाद् विशति स्वयं सहस्रमूर्धा विश्वात्मा महाविष्णु सनातनः वामङ्गाद् अस्रजद् विष्णुं दक्षिणाङ्गत् प्रजापतिं ज्योतिर्लिङ्गमयं शम्भु कुर्चदेशाद् अवासृजत् अहङ्कारात्मकं विश्वं तस्मादेतद् व्यजायत अथस्ते स्त्रिविधैर्वैशैर्लीलम् उद्वहत किल योगनिद्रा भगवती तस्य श्रीरिव संगता शिश्रक्षायां ततो नाभेस्तस्य पद्मं विनिर्ययौ तन्नालं हेमनलीनं ब्रह्मणो लोकमद्भुतं तत्त्वानि पूर्वरूढानि कारणानि परस्परं समवायाप्रयोगाच्च विभिन्नानि पृथक् पृथक् चिच्छक्त्या सज्जमानोऽथ भगवानादिपुरुषः योजयन्मायया देवो योगनिद्रामकल्पयत् योजयित्वा तु तान्येव प्रविवेश स्वयं गुहां प्रविष्टे तस्मिन् तु जीवात्मा प्रतिबुध्यते स नित्यो नित्यसम्बन्धः प्रकृतिश्च स्परैव सा एवं सर्वात्मसम्बन्धं नाभ्यं पद्मं हरे अभूत् तत्र ब्रह्मा भवद्भूयश्चतुर्वेदी चतुर्मुखः સંજાતો ભગવશક્ત્યા તત્કાલમ કિલ ચોદિતઃ શિશ્રિક્ષાયામ મતિમ ચક્રે પૂર્વ સંસ્કાર સંસ્કૃતા દદર્શા કેવલમ ધ્વાંતમ નાન્યત કિમ અપિ સર્વતઃ ઉવાચ પુરતસ્તસ્મૈ તસ્ય દિવ્યા સરસ્વતી કામકૃષ્ણાય ગોવિંદ હે ગોપી જન ઇત્યપિ વલ્લભાયા પ્રિયા વહનેર મંત્રમ તે દાસ્યતિ પ્રિયમ તપસ્ત્વં તપ એતેન તવ સિદ્ધિર્ભવિષ્યતિ અથ તેપે સત્સુચિરમ પ્રીણાન ગોવિંદમવ્યયમ શ્વેતાદ્વીપપતિં કૃષ્ણં ગોલોકસ્થં પરાત્પરમ પ્રકૃત્ય ગુણરૂપિણ્યા પર્યુપાસિતમ સહસ્રદલસંપન્ને કોટિકિંજલકભ્રિમિતે ભૂમિશ્ચિંતામણિस्तत्र કર્ણિકારે મહાસને સમાસીनं ચિદાનંદં જ્યોતિરૂપં સનાતનમ શબ્દબ્રહ્મમયં વેણું વાદયન્तं મુખાંબુજે વિલાસિની ગણવૃतं સ્વય સ્વય અંશૈરભિષ્ટુતમ અથ વેણુનિનાદસ્ય ત્રૈમૂર્તિમયી ગતિ સ્ફુરન્તિ પ્રવિવેવાશુ મુખાબ્જાની સ્વયંભુવ ગાયત્રીં ગાયતಸ್ತસ્માદ્ અધિગત્ય સરોજજ સંસ્કૃતશ્ચાદિગુણોના દ્વિજતામ આગમા તથા ત્રયા પ્રબુદ્ધોથા વિધિર્વિજ્ઞાત તત્વસાગરઃ તુષ્ટાવ વેદસારેણ સ્તોત્રાણેન કેશવમ ચિંતામણી પ્રકરસદ્મશુકલ્પવૃક્ષ લક્ષાવૃતેષુ સુરભિરભિપાલયન્તમ લક્ષ્મીસહસ્રશતસંભ્રમસેવ્યમાનમ ગોવિંદમાદિપુરુષં તમહં ભજામિ વેણું ક્વનંતમરવિંદદલાયતાક્ષં બર્હાવतं શમસિતાંબુદસુંદરાંગં કંદર્પકોટિકમણીયવિશેષશોભં ગોવિંદમાદિપુરુષં તમહં ભજામિ લોલચંદ્રકલસદ્મનમલ્યવાંશી રત્નાન્ગદં પ્રણયકેલિકલાવિલાસં શ્યામં ત્રિભંગલલિतं નિયતાપ્રકાશં ગોવિંદમાદિપુરુષં તમહં ભજામિ અંગાનિ યસ્ય સકલેન્દ્રિયવૃત્તિમાંતિ પશ્યન્તિ પાન્તિ કલયન્તિ ચિરં જગન્તિ આનંદચિન્મય સદોજ્જવલવિગ્રહસ્ય ગોવિંદમાદિપુરુષં તમહં ભજામિ અદ્વૈતમચ્યુતમનાદિમનંતરૂપમ આદ્યં પુરાણપુરુષં નવયૌવनं ચ વેદેષુ દુર્લભમ આદુર્લભમ આત્મભક્તૌ ગોવિંદમાદિપુરુષં તમહં ભજામિ પંથાસ્તુ કોટિશતવત્સર સંપ્રગમ્યો વાયોરથાપि મનસો મુનિપુંગવાનાં સોऽપ્યસ્તિ યત્પ્રપદસિમ્ન્યવિચિન્ત્ય તત્વે ગોવિંદમાદિપુરુષં તમહં ભજામિ એકોऽપ્યસौ રચયितुं જગદંડકોટિં યચ્ચક્તિરસ્તિ જગદંડચયાદઅन्तઃ અંડાંતરસ્થપરમાણુચયાંતરસ્થં ગોવિંદમાદિપુરુષં તમહં ભજામિ યદ્ભાવભાવદ્યો મનુજસ્તથૈવ सम्प्राप्य रूपमहिमासनयानभूषः सूक्तैरिम एव निगमा प्रीतितैस्तुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। आनन्दचिन्मयरसा प्रतिभाविताभिस्ताभिर्य एव निजरूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसत्यखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। प्रेमाञ्जनाचुरितभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। रामादिमूर्तिषु कलानियमेन तिष्ठान् नानावतारमकरोद्भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णः स्वयं समभवत्परमापुमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। यस्य प्रभा प्रभवतो जगदण्डकोटिकोटिष्वशेषवसुधादिविभूतिभिन्नं तद्ब्रह्मनिष्कलमनन्तमशेषभूतं विन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। माया हि यस्य जगदण्डशतानि सूते त्रैगुण्यतद्विषयवेदवितायमाना सत्त्वावलम्बि परसत्त्वं विशुद्धसत्त्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। आनन्दचिन्मयरसात्मतयः मनसु यः प्राणिनां प्रतिफलं स्मरतामुपेत्य लीलायितेन भुवनानि जयत्यजस्रं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। गोलोकनाम्नि निजधाम्नि तले च तस्य देवी महेशहरिधामसु तेषु तेषु ते ते प्रभावनिचया वितयाश्च येन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। सृष्टिस्थितिप्रलयसाधनशक्तिरेका छायेव यस्य भुवनानि बिभर्ति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूपमपि यस्य च चेष्टते सा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। क्षीरं यथा दधिविकारविशेषयोगात् सञ्जायते न हि तथा पृथक् अस्ति हेतो यः सम्भूतम् अपि तथा समुपैति कार्यात् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। दीपार्चिरेव हि दशान्तरमभ्युपेत्य दीपायते ब्रवीतहेतुसमानधर्मा यस्तादृग् एव हि च विष्णुतया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। यः कारणार्णवजले भजति स्म योगा नेद्रामनन्तजगदण्डसरोमकूपः आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परां स्वमूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। यस्यैकनिश्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथा विष्णुर्महांस्यैय यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि। भास्वा यथा श्मशकलेषु निजेषु तेजः स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्तवितद्वदत्र ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं tam aham bhajami. Yatpadpallavayugam vinidhaya kumbha dvandve pranama samaye saganadhiraja vignan vihantamalamasya jagatrayasya govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami. Agnirmahi gaganam ambumaruddishascha kalastathatmamaniseti jagatrayani yasmad bhavanti vibhavanti vishanti yamcha dipurusham tamaham bhajami. Yachakshuresha savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurti rashesha tejaha swiyasya brahmati samvrata kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamam vajami. Dharmo tapapa nichaya shrutayastapamsi brahmadikita patagavadayascha jivaha yaddatta matra vibhava prakata prabhava adi purusham tamaham bhajami. Yastvendra gopamata vendra maho swakarma bandhanurupa falabhajan matnoti karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Yam krodha kama sahaja pranayadi bhiti vatsalya moha guru gaurava sevya bhavai sanchintya tasya sadrishim tanuma purete govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Shriya kanta kanta parama purusha kalpatarvo druma bhumi chintamani ganamayi toyam amrutam katha ganam natyam gamanam apivamshi priya sakhi chidanandam jyoti paramapi tadaswadyam apicha sayatra shrirabdhi shravati surabhibhyascha sumahan Shardakyo vavrajati nahi yatrapi samaya bhaje shveta dvipam tam aham iya golokamitiyam vidantaste santakshiti virala chara katipaye atho vacha mahavishnu bhagvantam prajapatim brahman matva svigyane prajasarge sachinmati Panchashlokim imam vidyam vatsadattam niboddha me prabuddhe jnana bhaktivyam atmanyanda chinmayi udetyanuttama bhaktir bhagavad brahma lakshana pramanais tat sad acharais tat abhyasa nirantaram bodhayan atmanatmanam bhaktyapyuttamam labhet Yasya shreyaskaram nasti yaya nivrittam apnuyat ya sadhayati mameva bhaktim tameva sadhayet dharma anyan parityajya mamekam bhaja vishwasan yadrishi shraddha siddhir bhavati tadrishi kurvan nirantaram karma lokoyam anuvartate Tenaiva karmana dhyayan mam param bhaktim icchati Ham hi vishwasya characharasya bijam pradhanam prakriti pumamsya Maya hitam teja idam bibharsi vide videhi tvamatho jaganti Ishvara parama krishna satchidananda vigraha Anadiradir govinda sarva karana karanam Shri iti Shri Brahma Samhita Sampurnam Hari Om. Tat Sat. Ajay, can we go to the translations? Yeah, we can read the translation. We can do 5 each. Translation, and Prabhuji, you can start. The mic is. You can start. Just 5 each. Yeah.
Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes. The spiritual place of transcendental pastimes of Krishna is portrayed in the second verse. The super excellent station of Krishna, which is known as Gokula, has thousands of petals and a corolla like that of a lotus sprouted from a part of his infinity aspect, the whole of the leaves being the actual abode of Krishna. The whole of that transcendental lotus is the realm wherein dwells Krishna. It is a hexagonal figure, the abode of the indwelling, predominated and predominating aspect of the Absolute. Like a diamond, the central supporting figure of self-luminous Krishna stands as the transcendental source of all potencies. The holy name, consisting of 18 transcendental letters, is manifested in a hexagonal figure with six-fold divisions. The whole of that eternal realm, Gokula, is the hexagonal abode of Krishna. Its petals are the abodes of gopis, who are part and parcel of Krishna, to whom they are most lovingly devoted and are similar in essence. The petals shine beautifully like so many walls. The extended leaves of that lotus are the garden-like Dhamma, that is spiritual abode of Sri Radhika, the most beloved of Krishna. The surrounding external plane of Gokula is described in this verse. There is a mysterious quadrangular place named Sweta Dvipa surrounding the outskirts of Gokula. Sweta Dvipa is divided into 4 parts on all sides. The abode of Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha are separately located in each of these 4 parts. These 4 divided abodes are enveloped by the fourfold human requirements such as piety, wealth, passion, and liberation, as also by the 4 Vedas, viz. Rig, Sama, Yajur, and Atharva, which deal with the mantra and which are the basis of achievements of the fourfold mundane requirements. 10 tridents are fixed in the 10 directions, including the zenith and nadir. The 8 directions are decorated with the 8 jewels of Mahapadma, Padma, Sankha, Makra, Kachapa, Mukunda, Kunda, and Nila. There are 10 protectors, Dikpalas, of the 10 directions in the form of mantra. The associates of the hues of blue, yellow, red, and white, and the extraordinary potencies bearing the names of Vimala, etc., shine on all sides.
The Lord of Gokula is the transcendental Supreme Godhead, the own self of eternal ecstasies. He is the superior of all superiors and is busily engaged in the enjoyments of the transcendental dream and has no association with his mundane potency. Krishna never consorts with his illusory energy, still her connection is not entirely cut off from the absolute truth. When he intends to create the material world, the amorous pastime in which he engages by consorting with his own spiritual Chit potency, Rama, by casting his glance at the deluding energy in the shape of sending his time energy, is an auxiliary activity. The secondary process of association with Maya is described. Rama Devi, the spiritual Chit potency, beloved consort of the Supreme Lord, is the regulatrix of all entities. The divine plenary portion of Krishna creates the mundane world. At creation, there appears the divine halo of the nature of his own subjective portion, Swamsha. This halo is divine Shambhu, the masculine symbol or manifested emblem of the Supreme Lord. This halo is the dim twilight reflection of the Supreme Eternal Effulgence. This masculine symbol is the subjective portion of divinity who functions as progenitor of the mundane world. Subject to the supreme regulatrix, Niyati, the conceiving potency in regard to mundane creation, makes her appearance out of the supreme regulatrix. She is Maya, the limited, non-absolute apara potency, the symbol of mundane feminine productivity. The intercourse of these two brings forth the faculty of perverted cognition, the reflection of the seed of the procreative desire of the Supreme Lord. All offspring of the consort of the great Lord Maheshwara of this mundane world are of the nature of the embodiment of the mundane masculine and feminine generative organs. The person embodying the material causal principle with the great Lord of this mundane world, Maheshwara, Shambhu, in the form of the male generating organ, is joined to his female consort, the limited energy Maya, as the efficient causal principle. The Lord of the world, Mahavishnu, is manifest in him by his subjective portion in the form of his glance.
Yeah. Mataji can take it.
The Lord of the mundane world, Mahavishnu, possesses thousands of heads, eyes, hands. He is the source of thousands of avatars. He is the source of thousands of avatars and his thousands of subjective portions. He is the creator of thousands of individual souls. The same Mahavishnu is spoken of by the name of Narayana in this mundane world. From that eternal person has sprung the vast expanse of water of the spiritual causal ocean. The subjective portion of Sankarsana, who abides in Paravyoma, the above Supreme Purusha, with thousands of subjective portions, reposes in the state of divine sleep, Yoga Nidra, in the waters of the spiritual causal ocean. The spiritual seeds of Sankarsana, existing in the pores of skin of Mahavishnu, are born as so many golden sperms. These sperms are covered with 5 great elements. The same Mahavishnu entered into each universe as his own separate subjective portion. The divine portions that entered into each universe are possessed of his majestic extension. They are the eternal, universal soul, Mahavishnu, possessing thousands of heads. The same Mahavishnu created Vishnu from his left limb, Brahma, the first progenitor of beings, from his right limb, and from the space between his 2 eyebrows, Shambhu, the divine masculine manifested halo. The function of Shambhu in relation to jivas is that this universe, enshrining the mundane egotistic principle, has originated from Shambhu. Thereupon, the same great personal Godhead, assuming the threefold forms of Vishnu, Prajapati, and Shambhu, entering into the mundane universe, plays the pastimes of preservation, creation, and destruction of this world. This pastime is contained in the mundane world. Hence it is being perverted. The Supreme Lord, identical with Mahavishnu, prefers to consort with the goddess Yoga Nidra, the constituent of his own spiritual chitpotency, full of the ecstatic trance of eternal bliss, appertaining to his own divine personality.
I can read. When Vishnu, lying in the ocean of milk, wills to create this universe, a golden lotus springs from his navel pit. The golden lotus with its stem is the abode of Brahma, representing Brahma Loka or Satya Loka. Before their conglomeration, the primary elements in their nascent state remained originally separated entities. Non-application of the conglomerating process is the cause of their separate existence. Divine Mahavishnu, primeval Godhead, through association with his own spiritual chitpotency, moved Maya and by the application of the conglomerating principle created those different entities in their state of cooperation. And after that, he himself concerted with Yoga Nidra by way of his eternal dalliance with his spiritual chit potency. By conglomerating all those separate entities, he manifested the innumerable mundane universes and himself entered into the inmost recess of every extended conglomerate Virat Vigraha. At that time, those jivas who had lain dormant during the cataclysm were awakened. The same jiva is eternal and is for eternity and without a beginning joined to the Supreme Lord by the tie of an eternal kingship. His transcendental spiritual potency. The divine lotus which springs from the navel pit of Vishnu is in every way related by the spiritual tie with all souls and is origin of the four-faced Brahma versed in the four Vedas. On coming out of the lotus, Brahma, being guided by the divine potency, turned his mind to the act of creation under the impulse of previous impression, but he could see nothing but darkness in every direction. Then the goddess of learning Saraswati, the divine consort of the Supreme Lord, said thus to Brahma, who saw nothing but gloom in all directions, O Brahma, this mantra, viz. Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha, will surely fulfill your heart's desire. O Brahma, do you practice spiritual association by means of this mantra? Then all your desires will be fulfilled.
Brahma, being desirous of satisfying Govinda, practiced the cultural acts for Krishna in Goloka, Lord of Svetadvipa, for a long time. His meditation ran thus: there exists a divine lotus of 1,000 petals, augmented by millions of filaments, in the transcendental land of Goloka. On its whole, there exists a great divine throne on which is seated Shri Krishna, the form of eternal effulgence of transcendental bliss, playing on his divine flute resonant with the divine sound. With his lotus mouth, he is worshipped by his amorous milkmaids with their respective subjective portions and extensions, and also by his external energy, who stays outside, embodying all mundane qualities. Then Gayatri, mother of the Vedas, being made manifest, that is, imparted by the divine sound of the flute of Shri Krishna, entered into the lotus mouth of Brahma, born from himself through his 8-year holes. The lotus-born Brahma, having received the Gayatri sprung from the flute song of Shri Krishna, attained the status of the twice-born, having been initiated by the supreme primal preceptor, Godhead himself. Enlightened by the recollection of that Gayatri, embodying the 3 Vedas, Brahma became acquainted with the expanse of the ocean of truth. Then he worshipped Shri Krishna, the essence of all Vedas, with his hymn: I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with the head decked with peacock's feathers, with the figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with the moon locket, whose 2 hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shyamasundar is eternally manifest. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtained by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord. Only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis, who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe, at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore. I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas, by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of ecstatic potency, possessed of the 64 artistic activities in the company of her confidants, Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever-blissful spiritual rasa. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyam Sundara, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts, with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Narasimha, Vamana, etc., and his subjective portions. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose effulgence is the source of the non-differentiated Brahman mentioned in the Upanishads, and being differentiated from the infinity of glories of the mundane universe appears to be indivisible, infinite, limitless, and truth.
You can read.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is the absolute substantive principle. Being the ultimate entity in the form of the support of all existence, whose eternal potency embodies the threefold mundane qualities, namely sattva, rajas, and tamas, and diffuses the Vedic knowledge regarding the mundane world. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose glory ever triumphantly dominates the mundane world by the activity of his own pastimes, being reflected in the mind of recollecting souls as the transcendental entity of ever blissful cognitive rasa. Lowest of all is located Devi Dham, mundane world. Next above it is Maheshadam, abode of Mahesh. Above Maheshdam is placed Haridam, abode of Hari, and above them all is located Krishna's own realm, named Goloka. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who has allotted their respective authorities to the rulers of those graded realms. The external potency Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. Just as milk is transformed into curd by the action of acids, but yet the effect curd is neither same as nor different from its cause, namely milk, so I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Shambhu is a transformation for the performance of the work of destruction.
The light of one candle being communicated to other candles, although it burns separately in them, is the same in its quality. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who exhibits himself equally in the same mobile manner in his various manifestations. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who, assuming his own great subjective form, who bears the name of Shesha, replete with all accommodating potency and reposing in the causal ocean with the infinity of the world in the pores of his hair, enjoys creative sleep, Yoga Nidra. Brahma and other lords of the mundane worlds, appearing from the pores of his hair of Mahavishnu, remain alive as long as the duration of one exhalation of the latter, Mahavishnu. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whose subjective personality Mahavishnu is the portion of portion. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, from whom the separated subjective portion Brahma receives his power for the regulation of the mundane world. Just as the sun manifests some portion of his own light in all the effulgent gems that bear the names of Suryakanta, etc. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesha upon the pair of tumuli protruding from his elephant head in order to obtain power for his function of destroying all obstacles on the path of progress of the three worlds.
The three worlds are composed of the 9 elements, namely fire, earth, ether, water, air, direction, time, soul, and mind. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, from whom they originate, in whom they exist, and into whom they enter at the time of the universal cataclysm. The sun, who is the king of all the planets, full of infinite effulgence, the image of the good soul, is as the eye of this world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in pursuance of whose order the sun performs his journey, mounting the wheel of time. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, by whose conferred power are maintained the manifested potencies that are found to exist of all virtues, all vices, the Vedas, the penances, and all jivas, from Brahma to the meanest insect. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who burns up to their roots all fruitive activities of those who are imbued with devotion and impartially ordains for each the due enjoyment of the fruits of one's activities. Of all those who walk in the path of work in accordance with the chain of their previously performed works, no less in the case of the tiny insect that bears the name of Indragopa than in that of Indra, king of the Devas. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, the meditators of whom, by meditating upon him, under the sway of wrath, amorous passion, natural friendly love, fear, parental affection, delusion, reverence, and willing service, attain to bodily forms befitting the nature of their contemplation.
I worship the transcendental seat known as Shweta Dvipa, whereas loving consorts, the Lakshmis, in their unalloyed spiritual essence, practice the amorous service of the Supreme Lord Krishna as their only lover. Where every tree is a transcendental purpose tree, where the soil is a purpose gem, all water is nectar, every word is a song, every kite is a dance. The flute is the favorite attendant, effulgence is full of transcendental bliss, and supreme spiritual entities are all enjoyable and tasty. Where numberless milk cows always emit transcendental oceans of milk, where there is eternal existence of transcendental time, who is ever present and without past or future, and hence is not subject to the quality of passing away even for the space of half a moment. That realm is known as Goloka only to a very few self-realized souls in this world. On hearing these hymns containing the essence of truth, the Supreme Lord Krishna said to Brahma, Brahma, if you experience the inclination to create the offspring by being endowed with the real knowledge of the glory of Godhead, listen, my beloved, from me to this science set forth in the following 5 shlokas. When the pure spiritual experience is excited by means of cognition and service, that is bhakti, super excellent unalloyed devotion characterized by love of Godhead is awakened towards Krishna, the beloved of all souls. The highest devotion is attained by slow degrees by the method of constant endeavor for self-realization with the help of scriptural evidence, theistic conduct, and perseverance in practice. These preliminary practices of devotion, sadhana bhakti, are conducive to the realization of loving devotion. Loving devotion, than whom there is no superior well-being, who goes hand in hand with the attainment of exclusive state of supreme bliss, and who can lead to myself. Okay.
Abandoning all meritorious performances, serve me with faith. The realization will correspond to the nature of one's faith. The people of the world act ceaselessly in pursuance of some ideal. By meditating on me by means of those deeds, one will obtain devotion characterized by love in the shape of the supreme service. Listen, O Vidhi, I am the seed, that is the fundamental principle of this world of animate and inanimate objects. I am Pradhana, the substance of matter. I am Prakriti, material cause, and I am Purusha, efficient cause. This fiery energy that belongs specially to the Brahman, that inherits in you, has also been conferred by me. It is by bearing this fiery energy that you regulate this phenomenal world of animate and inanimate objects.
Yeah, so we completed the Brahma Samhita. Any specific reflection that you liked about any verse that you liked?
I think the first verse, Ishvara Parama Krishna, there it says Krishna is the cause of all causes. So I like that point, and also like Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, and the first verse also says the same, Janma in the Janmadhyasa. So the first line also, it means that Supreme Lord is who's in charge of the creation, maintenance, destruction, and then the second point is that he's the cause of all causes. So the first line also started with that, and same with Brahma Samhita, that the verse one says. So I like that point.
Yeah. Yes, Rami.
So Mahavishnu and Krishna, they are same or different?
So actually Mahavishnu came from Krishna. So first Krishna expanded in terms of 4 different expansions, and then there's an entire chapter on this in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Mahavishnu actually comes from Krishna. They are not different, but at the same time you can say plenary portion of Krishna. And so Mahavishnu actually lies on the from Mahavishnu all the universes comes from the pores of his body. Yeah.
So Krishna is the CEO.
Yeah, you can say that. He is the CEO. Yeah. He's just playing flute with all the cowherd boys in the Golok Vrindavan. Yeah. So another verse that I liked a lot was 5.33, which says Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Nava Yovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhakto Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Vajami. So it means Advaitam, he is one without a second. So each and every actually word in this verse is actually glorifying the Lord in different forms. Advaitam means one without a second. Achyutam, infallible. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, which doesn't have a beginning. Anadim, Anant Rupam, in unlimited forms. Then in the third line it says, Vedeshu Durlabam. You cannot achieve Lord Krishna just by reading Vedas. Vedeshu Durlabam, Adurlabam Atma Bhakto. But if you have devotional service, you can easily achieve Krishna. Bhakto, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. It's a very nice verse. Yeah, so we will start with Jai Radha Madhav. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रजजन रञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रजजन रञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रजजन रञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रजजन रञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजन रञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजन रञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नित्य गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, नित्य गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, नित्य गौर हरि बोल। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं त्वां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपेशा कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। ताप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Today we will be doing Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will do the invocation of Srimad Bhagavatam as well. You can repeat after me. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiriyet shrinvatam swakata krishna पुण्यश्रवणा कीर्तना हृदयन्तोस्तभद्राणि विधुनोति सुरसताम् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। So today we will be reading about Bali Maharaj and his surrender to Lord Vamanadev and how he surrenders the entire universe to him. We can go to Mataji to 8th canto, 20 chapter, first verse, 8.20.1. Yeah. So you can repeat that verse. Yeah. Shri Shuka Uvacha Balirevam Grihapati Kulacharyena Bhashitaha Tushnim Bhutvakshanam Rajan Uvacha Vahito Gurum. Shri Shuka Uvacha Balirevam Grihapati Kulacharyena Bhashitaha तुष्णीं भूत्वा क्षणं राजन् उवाचावहितो गुरुम् श्रीशुक उवाच बलिरेवं गृहपति कुलाचार्येण भाषितः तुष्णीं भूत्वा क्षणं राजन् उवाचावहितो गुरुम्. Yeah, any Prabhuji Mataji wants to repeat, they can.
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Balirevam Grihapati
Balirevam Grihapati
Kulacharyena Bhashitaha
Kulacharyena Bhashitaha
Tushnim Bhutvašanam Rajan
Tushnim Bhutvakshanam Rajan
Uvacha Vahito Gurum.
Uvacha Vahito Gurum. Balirevam Grihapati
कुलाचारेण भाषितः
Kulacharyena Bhashitaha
तूष्णीं भूत्वा क्षणं राजन्
Tushnim Bhutvakshanam Rajan
उवाच वहितो गुरुम्.
Uvacha Vahito Gurum.
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Balirevam Grihapatihi
Balirevam Grihapati
Kulacharyena Bhashitaha
Kulacharyena Bhashita
Tushnim Bhutvakshanam Rajan
Tushnim Bhutvakshanam Rajan
Uvacha Vahito Guram.
Uvacha Vahito Gurum. Word for word. Shri Shuka Uvacha Shri Shukdev Goswami said, Bali Maharaj, Evam, thus, Grihapati, the master of the household affairs, although guided by the priest, Kula Acharyena, by the family Acharya of guide, Bhashitaha, being thus addressed, Tushnim, silent, Bhutva, becoming, Kshanam, for a moment, Rajan, O King Parikshit Maharaj, Uvacha, said, Avahita, after full deliberation, Gurum, unto his spiritual master. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, O King Parikshit, when Bali Maharaj was thus advised by his spiritual master, Shukracharya, his family priest, he remained silent for some time, and then after full deliberation, he replied to his spiritual master as follows. Sri Vishwanath purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that Bali Maharaj remained silent at a critical point. How could he disobey the instruction of Shukracharya, his spiritual master? It is the duty of such sober personality as Bali Maharaj to abide by the orders of his spiritual master immediately, as his spiritual master had advised. But Bali Maharaj also considered that Shukracharya was no longer to be accepted as a spiritual master, for he had deviated from the duty of a spiritual master. According to Shastra, the duty of a guru is to take the disciple back home, back to Godhead. If he is unable to do so and instead hinders the disciple in going back home to Godhead, he should not be a guru. Gurur na sa syat. Bhagavatam 5.5.18. One should not become a guru if he cannot enable his disciple to advance in Krishna consciousness. The goal of life is to become a devotee of Lord Krishna so that one may be freed from the bondage of material existence. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. The spiritual master helps the disciple attains this stage by developing Krishna consciousness. Now Shukracharya has advised Bali Maharaj to deny the promise to Vamanadev. Under the circumstances, therefore, Bali Maharaj thought that there would be no fault if he disobeyed the order of his spiritual master. He deliberated on this point, should he refuse to accept the advice of his spiritual master, or should he independently do everything to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He took some time. Therefore it is said, tushnim bhutvakshanam rajan uvacha vahito gurum. After deliberating on this point, he decided that Lord Vishnu should be pleased in all circumstances, even at the risk of ignoring the Guru's advice to contrary. Anyone who is supposed to be a Guru but who goes against the principle of Vishnu Bhakti cannot be accepted as Guru. If one has falsely accepted such a Guru, one should reject him. Such a Guru is described as follows. Mahabharat Udyoga 179.25. Gurur apya valiptasya karya karyam ajanatah utpatha pratipannasya parityago vidhiyate. Srila Jiva Goswami has advised that such a useless Guru or family priest acting as Guru should be given up, and that proper bona fide Guru should be accepted. Shat karma nipuno vipro mantra tantra visharadaha avaishnavo gurur na syad vaishnava swapsacho guruhu. A scholarly Brahmana, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava. But if a person born in a family of a lower caste is a Vaishnava, he can become a spiritual master. Padma Puran. So in this case, if we see, Shukracharya was the Kulacharya, the family priest of the demons. And Bali Maharaj was the king of the demon. He was in the dynasty of Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj, King Virochana. So that way he was very exalted. And Lord Vamanadev was the fifth incarnation of the Dashavataras. So in this particular verse, it is explained why one should be very careful before choosing a Guru. Actually, Shukracharya is a very exalted Brahmana. He was a descendant of Bhrigu Muni. And it is mentioned as one of the, Shukracharya is mentioned as one of the Vibhutis in Bhagavad Gita. It is in 10th chapter, 37th verse. It is, Krishna says that Kavinam Ushna Kavi. That among the greatest thinkers, Kavinam, I am Ushna Kavi. I am Shukracharya, Ushna. So that way Krishna had high regards for Shukracharya. But in this case, Shukracharya was talking about the Vedas. That is the reason he was trying to force Bali Maharaj to not fulfill the promise. So Shukracharya knew about the devotion service. He knew about the Paradharma. And we have read from Bhagavatam that Paradharma is what? From Bhagavatam we have read that Paradharma is devotion service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Shastric in Bhagavatam there is a verse in 1st canto, 2nd chapter, 6th verse, which is Savai Pumcham Parodharmo Yato Bhakti Radhokshache Ahitukya Pratiyata Yayatma Suprasidati. Which means Savai Pumsam Parodharmo Yato Bhakti Radhokshache Ahitukya Pratiyata Yayatma Suprasidati. Which means that the highest occupation of all the mankind, Pumsa Yato Bhakti Radhokshache, is devotion service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How it should be? It should be with causeless and uninterrupted. How? So that Yayatma Suprasidati, so that the self gets satisfied. Yayatma, by which the self is satisfied, Suprasidati. So that is the Paradharma. And Shukracharya actually perfectly knew about the Paradharma. But still Shukracharya, so knowing about a particular dharma, Paradharma, and raising your consciousness to that level is two different things. So Shukracharya knew about the Paradharma, but his consciousness was still towards the Karma Kanda level. And that was the reason he was actually doing the 100 Yashwamedh Yagya with Bali Maharaj, so that Bali Maharaj gets the Indralok for a longer duration of time. With Bali Maharaj, for the longer duration of time. So this was what Shukracharya, like in this entire verse, it explains that how one should look for the spiritual master who has the Parodharma, and not just he is giving, his knowledge is just limited to the Vedas and not to the highest occupation. And this entire story, this entire pastime is actually goes around between his pure devotee Bali Maharaj, who is a Mahajan. He is one of the 12 Mahajans, along with Prahlad Maharaj, Lord Shiva, Narada and others. He is one of the 12 Mahajans. And as I said, he's in the dynasty of Prahlad Maharaj. At the same time, he was also in the dynasty of Hiranyakashipu. So that way, he was a Kshatriya. And he had some envy towards the demigods. But because of Prahlad Maharaj, he also had undeviated attention towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in fact, Bali Maharaj in 5th canto says that I know that Indra has taken away this Indralok from me, but he's a fool. He doesn't understand that I, after giving everything, got what even he didn't get, and that he got Vamanadev. Vamanadev actually told him that you go to Sutalok and I will be your gatekeeper over there. So that way, at the end, what this shows is Bali Maharaj was the winner. And Lord Vamanadev, as we discussed earlier, Lord Vamanadev is the 5th incarnation of the Dashavataras. And the story starts with Parikshit Maharaj asking Shukadev Goswami that why did Lord Vamanadev had to ask for 3 paces of land. And he asks why even after Bali Maharaj giving the 3 paces of land, Vamanadev still punishes him. So this is how the story of Lord Vamanadev and Bali Maharaj starts. Next to next week is Dwadashi, and this coming Dwadashi is actually the Vaman Dwadashi. In the 18th chapter it is explained that, we will read around that, it is said that Vamanadev actually came in the Dwadashi of Bhadra. And then I was thinking that when this Bhadra comes, and then I came to know that it is August or September, and then in the Vaishnava calendar we saw that it is then coming week. So it's good to meditate upon the pastimes of Lord Vamanadev. So the story, then Shukadeva Goswami started with the story that after the Samudra Manthan, which is the churning of the ocean, the demigods headed by Indra got all the nectar. All the demigods got the nectar. Because of that, they became they got a lot of strength. And they again fought with the demons. And this time, Indra was able to defeat Bali Maharaj. Not just defeat, he actually killed him, along with his soldiers, other demons. But Shukracharya, being the Kulacharya, he actually gave back life to Bali Maharaj. Now, in this incident itself, it shows how Bali Maharaj's mood was. As soon as he got back the life, he got so much indebted to Shukracharya that he said, "You will be now I am your servant and you are my spiritual master." And he was very much indebted to Shukracharya. And Shukracharya, seeing that his servitude attitude, he accepted him as a disciple, and he understood that Bali Maharaj wants back the Indralok. Please understand, Bali Maharaj was a Kshatriya. So that way, as a Kshatriya mood is, they will take revenge if something is wrong. In this case, King Indra took back the kingdom by cheating and not directly. Why? Because they had decided that nectar would be divided between the demons and demigods, but it was not the case. The entire nectar was taken solely by the demigods. So Bali Maharaj felt very cheated, and he wanted the heavenly planets only to take revenge and not to enjoy. That was the mood of Bali Maharaj. He didn't want to enjoy it, he just wanted as a part of revenge. So Shukracharya, after knowing that Bali Maharaj wants the heavenly planet, he says to Bali Maharaj that we will do Vishwajit Yagya, which is by which he will get lot of strength. So Shukracharya invites all his descendants of Bhrigu Muni. So Shukracharya was a descendant of Bhrigu Muni, and he invited all the descendants of Bhrigu Muni who were exalted Brahmanas. Bhrigu Muni himself was very exalted. Lord Vishnu had a special reverence for Bhrigu Muni. So they all assembled in the Yagya and they performed Vishwajit Yagya. In the Vishwajit Yagya, all the demigods came to offer benedictions to Bali Maharaj. If we see, wherever the Brahmanas are, and the Brahmanas are supporting Bali Maharaj, there will be opulence and strength. So that was the reason all the demigods actually came, and chariots, skewers, bows, lot of things were gifted. Not just that, even Prahlad Maharaj came and offered him a garland whose flowers will never fade. Someone might think that Prahlad Maharaj has come, so that means he is still attached to Bali Maharaj. But that was not the case. Srila Prabhupada explains that he was not attached, but he was just there to offer benedictions to his grandson. After doing this, after getting all the strength and opulence, he headed back to heavenly planet to get back the heavenly kingdom. And after that, in the 15th chapter of 8th canto, it is explained very, very descriptively how that Indralok is there. How the heavenly planet is described very beautifully, that the doors are made of gold petals, the path are made of pearls. The denizens are always happy with Indra. Such kind of opulences and strength are there. In fact, the entire heavenly kingdom was created by Vishwakarma, who is the architect, and he's also the son of Mother Aditi. So that is the opulence of the entire heavenly kingdom. But as soon as Bali Maharaj comes towards the heavenly kingdom, all the denizens and even all the citizens of heavenly planet and also King Indra understood that Bali Maharaj has arrived, and this time he has a lot of strength. He goes and asks Brihaspati that suddenly how so much enthusiasm Bali Maharaj has got, from where he got that. And then Brihaspati says that he got that from his spiritual master Shukracharya. And he says that Shukracharya was very much satisfied by Bali Maharaj. So if a spiritual master is very much satisfied by his disciple, he gives benedictions. And that's what we read every day in the Mangala Arati, right? Yasya prasada bhagavad prasada, yasya prasada nagati ko topi. So Shukracharya was very much happy with Bali Maharaj, and he gave all benedictions, because of which Bali Maharaj got a lot of strength. So Brihaspati says to King Indra that there is no point of fighting now. We should leave it, because if we fight, there will be only bloodshed. So they leave the arena. And after that, Bali Maharaj starts ruling the kingdom, the heavenly kingdom. But somewhere down the line, Shukracharya knew that he won't be able to last that kingdom, rule that kingdom for long. Why? Because somehow or the other way, the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, will be able to take the kingdom. So he decides to do 100 Ashwamedh Yajna. Basically, as much Ashwamedh Yajna as King Indra did to get that heavenly planet. So King Indra had done 100 Ashwamedh Yajna. So Shukracharya decides that even we will do the 100 Ashwamedh Yajna with Bali Maharaj. In Bhagavatam, there is another mention of a personality who does the same 100 Ashwamedh Yajna. And that time also, King Indra was a bit envious of him. And that is Prithu Maharaj. There is a story of Prithu Maharaj where Prithu Maharaj wanted to conquer the entire universe. So he was doing 100 Ashwamedh Yajna. So similarly, in this case also, they were performing the Yajna, 100 Ashwamedh Yajna, and all the descendants of Bhrigu Muni, all the Brahmanas were assembled there. So while this was going on, Mother Aditi in her ashram was very upset. Mother Aditi is the mother of all the Adityas, all the Devatas. And her husband is Kashyapa Muni. So Kashyapa Muni is the son of Marichi, and in the descendants of Brahmaji. Kashyapa Muni is a very exalted personality. In fact, all the living entities are in a way from Kashyapa Muni. Kashyapa Muni had many wives, out of which two were Diti and Aditi. Diti gave birth to all the demons. That's why they are called Daityas. And Mother Aditi gave birth to all the demigods. That's why they are called Adaityas or Devatas. And King Indra was the eldest son of Mother Aditi. And then going forward, we'll come to know that Lord Vamanadev becomes the youngest son. But yeah. So we were at, Mother Aditi was very upset in her ashram, seeing that her sons is no longer ruling the kingdom. That time, Kashyapa Muni, who after many years of meditation comes back to the ashram, he sees that Mother Aditi is morose and sitting with lot of sadness. He then asked Mother Aditi. So the first thing he asked of Mother Aditi is, are the Brahmanas not being treated well? Because even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Gau Brahmana, if Brahmanas and cows are not treated well, the universe will degrade. Even in Bhagavatam, time and again we have seen that if the Brahmanas are not treated well, the universes degrade. So the first question that Kashyapa Muni asked, are the Brahmanas not being treated well? Then he asked, are the Atithi, uninvited guests, not treated well? Srila Prabhupada says that the Atithi means one who comes without invitation. If he comes, we should at least offer a glass of water and offer a seat. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that in fact even the enemies, if they come to the house, they should be offered a glass of water and a place to sit. So like this, Kashyapa Muni asks a lot of questions that why are you sad? And at the end, Kashyapa Muni asks, are the sons doing well? So as soon as he asks that question, are the sons doing well? Mother Aditi then responds that Kashyapa Muni, you know everything. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is equal to both the demigods and to the Devatas, to everyone. Somehow we have read in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna is equal to everyone. But she says that he has special place for the devotees. By saying this, Mother Aditi was trying to hint to Kashyapa Muni that I know that demigods and the demons both are your sons, but the rightful ruler should be King Indra. So you should do something to get so that Indra gets back the kingdom. As soon as Mother Aditi says this, in the translation, the word used is alas. Kashyapa Muni says that, oh, you are getting entangled in this material energy. And then he explains that why one should not get attached to the material energy. But then he says, since you are the mother, you will be compassionate. And then he explains, okay, then I will give you the way so that the Lord himself can help you, so that the King Indra can get back the kingdom. Then Kashyapa Muni explains the Payovrata sacrifice. Payovrata means vrata which is done on milk. That is called Payovrata. And he explains the entire sacrifice, how one needs to do. It's a 12-day sacrifice, Dwadashi, like 12 days. And the mantra that needs to be chanted the most is Dwadashakshara, which is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It's a 12 akshara mantra. Like this, the entire procedure is explained in the 16th chapter of the 8th canto, that how Payovrata needs to be done. After listening to this, Mother Aditi says, okay, I will do that vrata, that Payovrata. And after completing that, Lord Vamanadev, Lord Supreme Personality of Godhead actually appears before Mother Aditi. And then Mother Aditi glorifies the Lord. We can actually go to 8th canto, 17th chapter and verse 4. And we can read the translation of how Mother Aditi glorifies Lord Vamanadev. Mataji, you can go to 17th chapter directly, and we can go. There are 6 to 7 verses. Yeah, we can go to 17th chapter directly. Yeah, so in the 4th or 5th verse we can go down. The 4th verse. Yeah, we can read the translation one, maybe 2 we can read. Yeah, Prabhuji, you can start.
My dear King, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, dressed in yellow garments and bearing a conch shell, disc, club and lotus in his 4 hands, then appeared before Aditi. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead became visible to Aditi's eyes, Aditi was so overwhelmed by transcendental bliss that she at once stood up and then fell to the ground like a rod to offer the Lord her respectful obeisances.
Aditi stood silently with folded hands, unable to offer praise to the Lord. Because of transcendental bliss, tears filled her eyes, and the hairs on her body stood on end. Because she could see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, she felt ecstasy and her body trembled. O Parikshit Maharaj, the demigoddess Aditi then began offering her praise to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in a faltering voice and with great love. She appeared as though drinking through her eyes the Supreme Lord, who is the husband of Goddess of Fortune, the enjoyer of all sacrificial ceremonies, and the master and the lord of the entire universe.
The goddess Aditi said, O Master and enjoyer of all sacrificial ceremonies, O infallible and most famous person, whose name, when chanted, spreads all good fortune, O original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Controller, shelter of all holy places, you are the shelter of our poor, suffering living entities, and you have appeared to diminish their suffering. Please be kind to us and spread our good fortune.
Yeah, actually, this verse is very important. If you go to the verse, in this down little bit. Yeah. In the verse, Mataji, can we go to the Sanskrit verse of this? Yeah. In this verse, if we see, in this single verse, Aditi has actually said 10 different forms of the Lord. So if you see, there are 10 names of the Lords. Yagyesha, one who is the controller of the sacrifice. Yagya Purusha, one who is the recipient of all the sacrifices. Acyuta, who is infallible. Tirtha Pada, then Tirtha Shrava, then Shravanan Mangala Namadhye, that means whose holy names are very auspicious to be chanted. Then in the third line, Adya, that means who is the beginning. Then in the fourth line, Isha. Isha means the Lord. Bhagavan, again the Lord. Dinanatha. Dinanath means Lord of the downtrodden. So if we see in this one verse, Aditi, Mother Aditi has said 10 different forms of the Lord. So such a nice glorification of the Lord. Yeah. Mataji, we can go to the 9th verse, translation.
My Lord, you are the all-pervading universal form, the fully independent creator, maintainer and destroyer of the universe. Although you engage your energy in matter, you are always situated in your original form and never fall from that position. For your knowledge is infallible and always suitable to any situation. You are never bewildered by illusion. O my Lord, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
O unlimited one, if your lordship is satisfied, one can very easily obtain a lifetime as long as that of Lord Brahma, a body either in the upper, lower or middle planetary systems. Unlimited material opulence, religion, economic development and satisfaction of the senses, full transcendental knowledge and the 8 yogic perfections. What to speak of such petty achievements as conquering one's rivals?
Yeah. So after this, once Mother Aditi glorified the Lord, then Lord responds that I know you are very sad and you want your sons headed by King Indra to get the kingdom back. But if we see in this particular pastime, it's a very tricky pastime in a way that we read in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna says in 4th chapter, Yada yada dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya Pranitranaya sadhuna vinashaya chaturishkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavani yogi yogi. He comes in order to annihilate the miscreants and deliver the pious people, the devotees. But in this case specifically, the miscreant, who was the miscreant? In a way, Bali Maharaj. Who was the pious, the devotee, pure devotee? Bali Maharaj. So that way, Lord Vamanadev in a way could not harm him because he was the pure devotee. And actually Lord Vamanadev in this chapter says to Mother Aditi that I cannot harm him because he is being protected by Brahmanas, whom I myself are protecting. I am protecting Brahmanas, and Brahmanas are protecting him. So I cannot do anything to him. But I will still do a favor to you by somehow getting the kingdom back. So by all this, in this entire pastime, actually Lord Vamanadev was trying to glorify Bali Maharaj. And then, yes, after this entire thing is done, then Lord Vamanadev appears in the form. Then Lord Vamanadev actually says to Mother Aditi that you should meditate on Kashyapa Muni, and then I will appear as a form of sun to you, as Vaman avatar. And then Mother Aditi starts meditating on Kashyapa Muni, and then he begets a son. After that, as soon as Lord Vamanadev in the form of Vaman avatar comes, Lord Brahma then starts glorifying Lord Vamanadev. Then we can go down from verse 26th. We can read that glorification of Lord Brahma to Lord Vamanadev. In the same chapter, from 26. Aji, we can go to the 17th chapter completely and we can read from. Okay, we can read like this. 26th. Yes. Yeah, we can read the verse, the translations. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can start from.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the all-pervading Lord Vishnu, who have entered the cores of the hearts of all living entities. All the three worlds reside within your navel, yet you are above the three worlds. Formerly you appeared as the son of Prishni. To you, the Supreme Creator, who are understood only through Vedic knowledge, I offer my respectful obeisances.
The next verse, Mataji.
O my Lord, you are the beginning, the manifestation, and the ultimate dissolution of the three worlds. And you are celebrated in the Vedas as the reservoir of unlimited potencies, the Supreme Person. O my Lord, as waves attracts branches and leaves that have fallen into deep water, you, the Supreme Eternal Time Factor, attract everything in this universe.
Yeah. I can read the next one. 28th. My Lord, you are the original generator of all living entities, stationary or moving, and you are also the generator of Prajapatis. O my Lord, as a boat is the only hope for a person drowning in the water, you are the only shelter for the demigods who are now bereft of their heavenly position. So like this, Lord Brahma glorifies Lord Vamanadev, and in the next chapter, Lord Vamanadev takes the dwarf incarnation, which is the Vamana avatar. So we can read the entire 18th chapter. We can just read the translations. Yeah. Yeah. No, we can have the. Okay, that's fine.
Indian. I am Indian.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Just translations. Yeah, translations. Yeah, Prabhuji, you can start. We will read 5 translations.
Shukadeva Goswami said, after Lord Brahma had thus spoken, glorifying the Supreme Lord's activities and prowess, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is never subject to death like an ordinary living being, appeared from the womb of Aditi. His 4 hands were decorated with a conch shell club, lotus and disc. He was dressed in yellow garments, and his eyes appeared like the petals of a blooming lotus. The body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, blackish in complexion, was free from all inebrities. His lotus face, decorated with earrings resembling sharks, appeared very beautiful, and on his bosom was the mark of Srivatsa. He wore bangles on his wrists, armlets on his arms, a helmet on his head, a belt on his waist, a sacred thread across his chest, and ankle bells decorating his lotus feet. An uncommonly beautiful garland of flowers decorated his bosom, and because the flowers were extremely fragrant, a large group of bees, making their natural humming sounds, invaded them for honey. When the Lord appeared wearing the Kastuba gem on his neck, his effulgence vanquished the darkness in the home of the Prajapati Kashyapa. At that time, there was happiness in all directions, in the reservoirs of water, like the rivers and oceans, and in the core of everyone's heart. The various seasons displayed their respective qualities, and all living entities in the upper planetary system, in outer space, and on the surface of earth were jubilant. The demigods, the cows, the brahmanas, and the hills and mountains were all filled with joy. On the day of Shravana Dwadasi, the 12th day of the bright fortnight in the month of Bhadra, when the moon came into the lunar mansion Shravana at the auspicious moment of Abhijit, the Lord appeared in this universe. Considering the Lord's appearance very auspicious, all the stars and planets from the sun to Saturn were munificently charitable.
Yeah, so in this it is mentioned that in the month of Bhadra, Dwadashi, Lord Vamanadev appears in this universe. Yeah, you need from 6th.
O King, when the Lord appeared on Dwadasi, the 12th day of the moon, the sun was at the meridian, as every learned scholar knows. This Dwadasi is called Vijaya. Conch shells, kettle drums, panvas and anakas vibrated in concert. The sound of these and various other instruments were tumultuous. Being very pleased, the celestial dancing girls, Apsaras, danced in jubilation. The best of the Gandharvas sang songs, and the great sages, demigods, Manus, Pitas, and fire gods offered prayers to satisfy the Lord. The Siddhas, Vidyadharas, Kimpurusas, Kinnaras, Karnas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Suparnas, the best of serpents, and the followers of the demigods all showered flowers on Aditi's residence, covering the entire house with glorifying and praising the Lord and dancing.
When Aditi saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead who had appeared from her own womb, having accepted a transcendental body by his own spiritual potency, she was struck with wonder and was very happy. Upon seeing the child, Prajapati Kashyap exclaimed, "Jai, Jai," in great happiness and wonder. The Lord appeared in his original form with ornaments and weapons in his hands. Although this ever-existing form is not visible in the material world, he nonetheless appeared in this form. Then, in the presence of his father and mother, he assumed the form of Vaman, a Brahmana dwarf, a brahmachari, just like a theatrical actor. When the great sages saw the Lord as the brahmachari dwarf Vaman, they were certainly very pleased. Thus they placed before them Kashyapa Muni, the Prajapati, and performed all the ritualistic ceremonies such as the birthday ceremony. At the sacred thread ceremony of Vamanadev, the sun god personally uttered the Gayatri mantra, Brihaspati offered the sacred thread, and Kashyapa Muni offered a straw belt. Mother Earth gave him a deer skin, and the demigod of the moon, who is the king of the forest, gave him a Brahmadanda, the rod of a brahmachari. His mother Aditi gave him clothes for underwear, and the deity presiding over the heavenly kingdom offered him an umbrella.
Yeah, so if we see, this very nicely explains that how everything is coming from Krishna, but how they are offering back to Lord Vamanadev again. So, yeah, very nicely explained. I can read. Prabhuji will read 16th. From 16th.
O king, Lord Brahma offered a water pot to the inexhaustible Supreme Lord of Godhead. The 7 sages offered him kusha grass, and Mother Saraswati gave him a string of Rudraksh beads. When Vamanadev had thus been given the sacred thread, Kuber, king of Yakshas, gave him a pot for begging alms, and Mother Bhagavati, the wife of Lord Shiva and most chaste mother of the entire universe, gave him his first alms. Having thus been welcomed by everyone, Lord Vamanadev, the best of brahmacharis, exhibited his Brahman effulgence. Thus he surpassed in beauty that entire assembly, which was filled with great saintly Brahmins. After Lord Sri Vamanadev set a sacrificial fire, he offered worship and performed a fire sacrifice on the sacrificial field.
Yeah, so if we see here, Lord Vamanadev shows the Brahman effulgence, and actually it is said that Lord Vamanadev shows Lord's beauty in this pastime, and Bali Maharaj was very, very much attracted to Lord Vamanadev's beauty, that he was ready to surrender everything to the Lord. Yeah, we can read from 21st. I can read. When the Lord heard that Bali Maharaj was performing Ashwamedha sacrifices under the patronage of Brahmanas belonging to the Bhrigu dynasty, the Supreme Lord, who is full in every respect, proceeded there to show his mercy to Bali Maharaj. By his weight, he pushed down the earth with every step. If we see here, actually Acharya says that Bhumi Devi, Mother Earth, was getting pushed, but actually she was offering obeisances to Lord Vamanadev. This was the way of offering obeisances by Bhumi Devi, by Mother Earth, to Lord Vamanadev. While engaged in performing the sacrifice in the field known as Bhrigukacha on the northern bank of Narmada river, the Brahminical priest, the descendants of Bhrigu, saw Vamanadev to be like the sun rising nearby. O king, because of Vamanadev's bright effulgence, the priests, along with Bali Maharaj and all the members of assembly, were robbed of their splendor. Thus they began to ask one another whether the sun god himself, Sanat Kumar, or fire god, had personally come to see the sacrificial ceremony. While the priests of Bhrigu dynasty and the disciples talked and argued in various ways, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vamanadev, holding in his hands the rod, the umbrella, and water pot full of water, entered the arena of Ashwamedh sacrifice. Appearing as a Brahmana boy, wearing a belt of straw, a sacred thread, an upper garment of deerskin, and matted locks of hair, Lord Vamanadev entered the arena of sacrifice. His brilliant effulgence diminished the brilliance of all priests and their disciples, who thus stood from the seat and welcomed the Lord properly by offering obeisances. You can read.
Bali Maharaj, jubilant at seeing Lord Vamanadeva, whose beautiful limbs contributed equally to the beauty of this entire body, offered him a seat with great satisfaction. Thus offering a proper reception to the Supreme Personality of God, who is always beautiful to the liberated souls, Bali Maharaja worshipped him by washing his lotus feet. Lord Shiva, the best of the demigods, who carries on his forehead the emblem of the moon, receives on his head with great devotion the Ganges water emanating from the toe of Vishnu. Being aware of religious principles, Bali Maharaja knew this. Consequently, following in the footsteps of Lord Shiva, he also placed on his head the water that had washed the Lord's lotus feet.
Yeah, if we see here, actually Srila Prabhupada mentions that how one Mahajan is learning from other Mahajan. Lord Shiva was a Mahajan and Bali Maharaj was also Mahajan. And how Bali Maharaj, seeing that Lord Shiva puts Ganges water on his head as an emblem of lotus feet of the Lord, he does the same thing by offering that water which was washed on the head. So in this, the Guru Parampara or the Mahajan, how one can learn from the exalted devotees is shown. Actually in the previous chapter, even when Kashyap Muni talks about the Payavrata Vrat to Mother Aditi, he actually says that I learned this sacrifice, this vrat, from Lord Brahma. When I went to Lord Brahma to ask what should I do in order to create offsprings, Lord Brahma gave this sacrifice, explained this sacrifice to me, and he explained the same sacrifice to Mother Aditi. So without any concoction, without any creating their own whims, he just said what said to him by Lord Brahma. So in this Guru Parampara shows that how one should just say whatever. And Srila Prabhupada did the same thing. Srila Prabhupada actually mentions in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita that the only credit to me in this writing this Bhagavad Gita is that I have not added or subtracted even a single word from this book. So this shows that how the Acharyas are actually so much compassionate that they write things which is explained to them by the previous and don't add their own things. Yeah, we can go ahead.
Lord Shiva, the best of the demigods, Bali Maharaj then said, I think we're done with that, Mataji. Bali Maharaj then said to Lord Vamanadeva, O Brahmana, I offer you my hearty welcome and my respectful obeisances. Please let us know what we may do for you. We think of you as the personified austerity of the great Brahmana sages. O my Lord, because you have kindly arrived at our home, all my forefathers are satisfied. My family and the entire dynasty have been sanctified, and the sacrifice we are performing is now complete because of your presence. O son of Brahmana, today the fire of sacrifice is ablaze according to the injunction of the Shastra, and I have been freed from all sinful reactions of my life by the water that has washed your lotus feet. O my Lord, by the touch of your small lotus feet, the entire surface of the world has been sanctified. O son of Brahmana, it appears that you have come here to ask me for something. Therefore, whatever you want, you may take from me. O best of those who are worshipable, you may take from me a cow, gold, a furnished house, palatable food and drink, the daughter of a Brahmana for your wife, prosperous villages, horses, elephants, chariots, or whatever you desire.
So the norm, even now it is, that whenever Brahmana comes and something auspicious if we are doing, in this case Bali Maharaj was doing 100 Ashwamedh Yajna, you should always welcome the Brahmanas and try to offer something. So Bali Maharaj asks that what can I offer to you? You ask anything. And he was the king of the entire universe that time. So he was saying ask anything. And whenever Brahmana actually arrives to any place, the first thing they do is they talk about the dynasty and the lineage. They glorify their dynasty and lineage. So similarly, in the next chapter, Lord Vamanadev will start glorifying one after the another the entire dynasty of Bali Maharaj. He starts with Hiranyaksha. How Hiranyaksha fought violently with Lord Vishnu, Varaha Avatar, and after the entire fight, Lord Varaha Avatar actually says that he fought very violently and I am very pleased that I was able to defeat him. That's how Lord Vamanadev glorifies Hiranyaksha, and then he glorifies Hiranyakashipu. After that he glorifies Prahlad Maharaj. Obviously Prahlad Maharaj was an exalted devotee and Mahajan again, and very pure devotee of the Lord. So he exemplifies Prahlad Maharaj a lot. And then he comes to King Virochana. Lord Vamanadev says that how King Virochana gave everything to the Brahmanas even after knowing that they are not actually Brahmanas. That way even you are very exalted and you will give the charity. By this actually Lord Vamanadev is hinting that you know that I am Vishnu, but still I know that you will give the charity. The story of King Virochana is that King Virochana almost got all the heavenly planets, and Indra with no heavenly planet goes to King Virochana and asks for something. He just goes there, and King Virochana says, whatever you want, tell me, I will give it to you. Then King Indra says, he comes as a Brahmana. King Indra disguised him as a Brahmana. Then King Indra says that I want something which is very dear to you and I know you won't be able to give me. And then King Virochana says, no, I will give you. You just ask for it. I will give it to you. And then the King Indra asked for the head of Virochana. So basically King Virochana gave up his life just as a charity. So that's the lineage that Bali Maharaj is from. And then Lord Vamanadev was actually glorifying Bali Maharaj, that kind of lineage you are from, and thus I know that you will give the charity to me. And then Lord Vamanadev in this way asked for 3 paces of land. And then we will read from 15th verse that how Lord Vamanadev asked for 3 paces of land, and then Bali Maharaj jokingly says that you are asking which is nothing, and you are asking to a king, so you should ask in a way that it is worth. 3 pieces of land will be nothing for you. You should ask for more, and I am ready to give. You should give that much. You should ask for that much, that again in the future there will never be a need for you to ask me. So we can read from verse 15. Mataji, we can go to the chapter. From verse 15 we can just... No, only translation is enough. Yeah. We can read from verse 15. No. Just help her. Yeah, we can read how Lord Vamanadev asked for, first glorifies Bali Maharaj and then asks for 3 pieces of land. We can read that. You can.
You also have observed the principles followed by great personalities who are householder brahmanas by your forefathers, and by great heroes who are extremely famous for their exalted activities. O King of the Daityas, from your majesty, who come from such a noble family and who are able to give charity munificently, I ask only 3 paces of land to the measurement of my steps. O King, controller of the entire universe, although you are very munificent and are able to give me as much land as I want, I do not want anything from you that is unnecessary. If a learned Brahmana takes charity from others only according to his needs, he does not become entangled in sinful activities. Bali Maharaj said, O son of a Brahmana, your instructions are as good as those of a learned and elderly person. Nonetheless, you are a boy and your intelligence is insufficient. Thus, you are not very prudent in regard to your self-interest. I am able to give you an entire island because I am the proprietor of the 3 divisions of the universe. You have come to take something from me and have pleased me by your sweet words, but you are asking only 3 paces of land. Therefore, you are not very intelligent. O small boy, one who approaches me to beg something should not have to ask anything more anywhere. Therefore, if you wish, you may ask from me as much land as will suffice to maintain you according to your needs.
Yeah, so like this, Bali Maharaj actually gets pride that he is the king of universe. And when Lord Vamanadev asks for only 3 paces of land, he says that, oh, this is nothing, and ask for more. So Srila Prabhupada actually explains in various purports that one should be sufficient of whatever one has, and the greed is never over. So we should always be sufficient of whatever we has. So going forward, Lord Vamanadev will now explain that why I have. Yeah, from 21st verse. You can read.
The personality of Godhead said, O my dear king, even the entirety of whatever there may be within the 3 worlds, to satisfy one's senses cannot satisfy a person whose senses are uncontrolled. If I were not satisfied with 3 paces of land, then surely I would not be satisfied even with possessing one of the 7 islands, consisting of 9 varshas. Even if I possessed one island, I would hope to get others. We have heard that although powerful kings like Maharaj Prithu and Maharaj Gaya achieved proprietorship over the 7 dvipas, they could not achieve satisfaction or find the end of their ambitions.
Yeah, so we just said about Maharaj Prithu, how Maharaj Prithu also got all the universes. He did the Ashwamedh Yagya, but still he was not satisfied. And that's what Lord Vamanadev is explaining in this verse.
One should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny, for discontent can never bring happiness. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing the three worlds. Material existence content in regard to fulfilling one's lusty desires and achieving more and more money. This is the cause for the continuation of material life, which is full of repeated birth and death. But one who is satisfied by that which is obtained by destiny is fit for liberation from existence.
So Srila Prabhupada actually explains even in Bhagavad Gita that how a demon always thinks about how I can get more and more and more. That is the nature of a demon. So he actually says those human beings who are just thinking of money again and again, that they are actually demons. That's how Srila Prabhupada actually says. So yeah, and similarly here also Lord Vamanadev is saying the same thing.
A Brahmana who is satisfied with whatever is providentially obtained is increasingly enlightened with spiritual power, but the spiritual potency of a dissatisfied Brahmana, as fire diminishes in potency when water is sprinkled on it. Therefore, O King, from you, the best of those who give charity, I ask only 3 paces of land. By such a gift I shall be very pleased, for the way of happiness is to be fully satisfied to receive that is absolutely needed. Sukadev Goswami continued, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead had thus spoken to Bali Maharaja, Bali smiled and told him, all right, take whatever you like. To confirm his promise to Dev the desired land, he then took up his water pot. Understanding Lord Vishnu's purpose, Shukracharya, the best of the learned, immediately spoke as follows to his disciple, who was about to offer everything to Lord Vamanadev.
Yeah, now Shukracharya is exalted Brahmana. He already knew that the Brahman who has come at the doorstep is nothing but Lord Vishnu in the form of Vamana avatar. And as a spiritual master, always warns his disciple if something wrong is going to happen. Similarly, now Shukracharya will try to warn Bali Maharaj that you are a fool if you are going to fulfill the promise of Lord Vamanadev. He will take everything from you. So now he will explain. He will quote all the Shastras, Vedas, in order to explain Bali Maharaj he should not give the 3 paces of land. So now Shukracharya will speak. We can go ahead. 30th verse.
Shukracharya said, O son of Varyosana, this brahmacharya in the form of a dove is directly the imperishable Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishnu accepting Kashyap Muni as his form of a dove is directly the imperishable Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishnu accepting Kashyap Muni as his father and Aditi as his mother, he has now appeared in the order to fulfill the interest of the demigods. You do not know what a dangerous poisons you have accepted by promising to give him land. I do not think that this promise is God for you. It harms to the demons. This person falsely appearing as a brahmacharya is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who has come in this form to take away all your land, wealth, beauty, power, fame, and education. After taking everything from you, he will deliver it to Indra, your enemy.
So here Shukracharya actually is explaining that if Vishnu, after taking everything, is keeping with himself, then it's a different thing. But he will give everything to Indra, your enemy. So by this he was actually provoking Bali Maharaj to not give 3 pieces of land. He was trying to say that he is not going to give with himself. He is going to give to your enemy, from which you wanted to take revenge and take the heavenly planet. So what is the point of giving these 3 pieces of land? And then going forward, we can skip this chapter and then we can go to the next chapter. So in this he goes in length that why one should not fulfill the promise. What he says going forward is that the word Om is not uttered before the promise. All these are in Vedas. Not uttered before the promise. So you don't need to fulfill your promise because you didn't utter the word Om. And then he explains what is Om Tat Sat. Everything he explains. Like this. And also he says that Lord Vishnu will get all the 3 just by 2 pieces of land. He will get the entire universe, planets. So Shukracharya says, then what is the point of even giving anyways you won't be able to fulfill the promise, because for that you have to give 3 pieces of land. Where will you give the 3rd place? So since you are not going to fulfill the promise, then why are you even trying to do the first 2? So what he's trying to say is that if someone, let's say we take a loan of $300 from someone, and now in returning we have only $200, so Shukracharya is saying don't even give that $200. Why even give that? So like this, Shukracharya is trying to convince Bali Maharaj that please don't give the 3 pieces of land, you will lose. And obviously Shukracharya had done so much for the demons so that they get the heavenly kingdom again. So, but yeah, as we know, Bali Maharaj didn't listen to him. And then we read the first verse itself of 20th chapter. Why now Bali Maharaj will explain why I want to give the 3 pieces of land. For that, if we have any reflections that we have read or heard so far, we can just discuss on that for some time.
So actually I saw in this Leela, right? So Shukracharya, he loses his eyes because after trying to convince him, after trying to convince his disciple, he doesn't agree. So then he thinks, let me try to do something else. So he actually blocks the entrance of that Kamandalu, the water pot. And that opening, right? So then when Maharaj Bali, he tries to take out the water in his palm, he is not able to take it out. So then Vamanadev, what he does is he gives the kusha blade. He says, to fix the issue. Then he puts it inside few times. Then Shukracharya inside dodges it off, and then he understands. Then he puts it so fast that one of his eyes goes blind. Then he comes out. Then the water comes out.
Oh, I think yes, I've heard about that.
It's not in Bhagavatam, but yeah. Bhagavatam doesn't, not all the Leelas are given in detail.
In detail, yes.
Summary.
The focus here is more on Bali Maharaj and Lord Vamanadev. So yeah, that's right. Anything else? Actually, I was listening. Yeah, Prabhuji.
So looks like Shukracharya ji knew everything, and then probably Bali Maharaj also knew everything, maybe?
Yes.
Then it was just a play. They were just going through the motions.
So, how it is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam is that Shukracharya actually punishes Bali Maharaj by saying that you will lose everything. And Srimad Bhagavatam says that all this, whatever Shukracharya said, was actually from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vamanadev inspired him to say that. So, and by showing that Bali Maharaj knew everything and still he was ready to give, that's what the pure devotee is. He knew that he is Vishnu and he will take everything from him, and still he was ready to give it. And that's, so actually in this pastime, the more focus is on Lord Vamanadev, that how Lord Vamanadev actually punishes Bali Maharaj. Now, someone would say that I have given you everything, Atma Nivedana, complete surrender. And what you are punishing me, because what happens is, at the end, after everything is given, Lord says you have nothing now. how will you give the third place to me? And then after saying that, Garud actually ties him to Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj, like a Kinkara, actually says that I don't have anything. You please place your feet on me. I am surrendering now. Atma Nivedana. Now, someone at the outside will think that what Bali Maharaj is doing, like, Bali Maharaj, if he would have got some pride, he would have said that I have given you 2 paces, now leave me, like I am tired of you. But that's what the pure devotee is. He went out of the extent and gave everything. Actually, acharyas, some people might say that it's already, everything is given to the by the 2 steps. Then by 3rd step, by giving the Bali, by Bali Maharaj giving himself, there is nothing great that Vamanadev is getting from the 3rd step. But actually, Acharya says there is a difference between a possession and a possessor. Possessor is always greater than the possession. In this case, Bali Maharaj had all the possessions which he gives, but still he himself, who is the owner of that possessions. So he will be greater, right? He is the owner of the possessions. Now at the 3rd step, he is giving himself. So that's the humble attitude of Bali Maharaj in this pastime, that he surrenders himself. Yeah. Now, by the word surrender, if we can think of any words that is there, that we speak of surrender, the word surrender, if we can think of any words that is there in Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, one of the famous verse. Sarva dharma parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja am tvam sarva papabhyo mokshayam mahasucha. So basically Krishna is saying, give up all religion, just surrender unto me. And Bali Maharaj is actually living that example. So in the next chapter, in the 20th chapter, we will read what explanations does Bali Maharaj gives and why he was ready to surrender. And I'll explain those in the 20th chapter. So yes, we can read only the translations.
One thing is that because then Shukracharya becomes angry, then he curses this Bali Maharaj, that fool, because he didn't listen to me.
Yes.
In the future, demons will always be defeated by devatas.
Oh, okay.
He gives that curse also.
Actually, yes. And after that, Lord Vamanadev, once he curses him, so it was pretty obvious that now Bali Maharaj will leave all the possessions. Right? He will lose everything. And then Lord Vamanadev actually tells Bali Maharaj that now you go to the Sutal Lok and I will be your gatekeeper over there. And in the 18th Manvantara, 8th Manvantara, you will become King Indra and you will enjoy the heavenly planets. So that way, Bali Maharaj actually didn't lose anything. Rather, he gained the being a pure devotee of the Lord, being a Mahajan.
And Sutal Lok is more opulent than...
Yes. Yes. So in the 5th canto, actually, there is a big description of what kind of is. And when we read, we come to know that Sutal Lok is more opulent actually than even Indra Lok. And the presiding deity over there is Bali Maharaj. That way. Yeah. Yeah.
That way Lord Vishnu the same role as what Krishna did for Arjun as a chariot driver,
Yes.
Chariot driver is a low position.
Yes.
And at the same time guarding Arjun and taking him to victory. Similarly, in Sutal Lok also is like a personal attendant.
Yes.
And Lakshmi Devi has to come and say, Arey Baba, I am not taking darshan, give him some leave.
Yes. It's a very beautiful actually pastime. It says that Ravan comes to attack Bali Maharaj and how Lord Vamanadev just kicks him. Ravana. Millions of yojanas, he just falls down. So it's actually a very beautiful pastime in the 5th canto, I think. Yeah, we can read. It's actually only 10 minutes remaining. Maybe we can start, Mataji. Okay.
Sri Goswami said, O King Parikshit, when Bali Maharaj was thus advised by his spiritual master Shukracharya, his family priest, he remained silent for some time, and then, after full deliberation, he replied to his spiritual master as follows. This is what we read.
Yeah, this is what we read. So we started from here, and now as a cycle, we are coming back to the end of this thing.
Hey, can we go to the next verse?
We can go to the next verse, Mataji.
Srivats, can we go to the next verse?
Next verse.
Just press the bar button. Space bar.
Actually, I think we are off the time. So let's
Oh.
see, we can. Okay, so maybe I can explain in short. What Bali Maharaj says then is, I know that Vishnu, he is Vishnu. Then just think that Vishnu has come here, and now if I don't give, then what is the point? He is anyways the Lord of everything. And then he explains that, yeah, he goes in depth of it. And then he also cites the examples of Dadichi and Shibi. How Dadichi gave everything just to please. Just in the terms of charity. We all know the story of Dadichi, right? Dadichi, how he gives his entire body, his ashes, for to kill Vritrasura. And then the story of Shibi also, right? Shibi, what happens is, Shibi was a very charitable king. He was a Sharanagata, very compassionate towards everyone. And what happens is, King Indra wanted to test him because his glorification was all over the world, including heavenly planets. So King Indra and Agnidev goes to Shibi, and so King Indra becomes kabutar, like pigeon, and Agnidev becomes kabutar, pigeon, and King Indra becomes eagle, and trying to catch that pigeon, eagle. So this way pigeon runs towards Shibi and says, now you have to protect me. So Shibi says, okay, I will protect you. And then King Indra, who in the form of eagle, says, no, this is my food, I am going to eat it. And then King Shibi says, what do you want, tell me, I am ready to give you anything, but don't harm this pigeon. And then eagle says that, okay, you give your flesh to me. And then Shibi gives one part of his body as a flesh to King. Basically, he keeps on the sort of a tarazu. There is a tarazu there. At one side there was pigeon, and on the other side his flesh was there. And the tarazu was not going down. And finally, what happens is, Shibi says, now I am going to surrender myself on the tarazu. And then after seeing that, the eagle comes back in the form of King Indra, and then says that you are really very glorious king. Your glorification is even in the planet, in the heavenly planets, and now I was able to see that. So that's how Bali Maharaj cites, and then at the end Bali Maharaj gives the 3 paces of land, and then it's a very nice, maybe we can read afterwards, like maybe at home, that how Lord Vamanadev takes the 3 paces. So I will just like to ask for forgiveness at the end if I said something which is not according to your understanding or the Shastras. Hare Krishna.
Sadhu. Thank you so much, Acyuta Caitanya Prabhu, for a wonderful class. It's like we are joining the station of Bali Maharaj and all the Pastimes. Very well prepared and very well quoted from the Acharya.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mukharvendra Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Actually, Prabhuji, can you repeat? It was.
Oh, sorry. Hare Krishna. It's clear, my sound?
Yeah, we can hear you, Prabhuji.
Dhanavad Pranam, Acyuta Caitanya Prabhu. My devotee is wonderful. Just meditating before Vaman Goddesses of the whole past, and really you made in short classes, you could start on whole past time. That was really amazing. So thank you so much for the mastery and also giving the purport Acharyas. That is really amazing. We can see how much you have developed the taste for hearing. Anyhow, I am the everyday, most of the day I have your association, so I can see now that's coming in the class as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We can start with. Thank you. No, thank you, Mukharvendra Prabhuji, for. Nothing. Hare Krishna.
Paramahansa.